Greetings, fellow explorers. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld Frostwardens, episode 85, A Trek Across the Frozen Waste. It was really nice to see the mining tunnel turrets in action. I know they didn't actually do any shooting, but they were working completely as intended there. And I was like, yes, designed correctly. Now, I could drive them to come into this point, to attack to this angle, if I, and I'm not planning on doing this, but if I, like, where this turret is, if I built the wall out like this, so that this area would be covered, then they'd be forced to go in through there. It's not, I would say, strictly necessary to do that, but if you wanted to, like, min-max and finagle and tweak, you certainly could. And that would be one such design to consider. Is JD bleeding? Yeah, JD's bleeding. But, like, not fatally. Which is why he'll get tended to when he eventually. He's not about to die. There. Now I have him queued up. A ritual soon of pilgrim lanterns. Oh, if that is the case. Let's move a deep drill to get a little bit more wood. So Madsen has some bruises. Not a biggie. Tend to him next. And then we have a lovely prison barracks of a bunch of prisoners. What the hell? Why did you drop that in there? I don't know. Well, whatever. Maybe it was on them? I'm so tempted to take their clothing for warmth, but, you know, kind of against the rules. Oh, there we go. That's the iron I'm talking about. Oh. Yeah, that is the kind of infection you don't get up from. Isn't it? Heart infection. What did we do to his heart? We shot him in the heart? JD shot him in the heart. Alright, well, you're tended. The good news is he's in a hospital bed, got tended with industrial meds, with a vitals monitor. So, like, if there is anywhere on this rim where there was a good place to get shot in the heart, it's our community. Lucky him, right? Yeah, he's already near double immunity over illness. Alright, now that I have 1,500 chem fuel, I'm going to put a pause to the chem making for a bit. So that we can smelt and haul and stuff. Little scarier, one of his injuries is also injured. Yes, blood filtration being low and blood pumping being low is a problem. But of course, he's sick 13, immune 26. He's fine. I could also administer go juice. And just force his blood pumping to go up. So now if we take a look at his health. Oh, you know what? Go juice doesn't do that. I was thinking luciferium. The other thing is, one of the advantages of Go Juice is if you get their moving up, you can release them, and they get out faster. So if they were going to freeze to death on their way out or something like that, Go Juice will help to prevent that. I like the look of Fishpick's armor. Oh, and he also just got the plague? Are my enemies using biological warfare against me? I am not convinced they aren't. Because what the hell? You just happen to come down with the plague. Okay. Old school trebuchet tactics at play here, clearly. Those that know Constantinople know what I'm talking about. One of the first cases of biological warfare was throwing plague-infested corpses, or flinging plague-infested corpses over city walls with catapults to try to disease the inhabitants of the city. And yeah, as you can imagine, it's very, very effective in a not so ethical way. Alright, they're still... no, I think they're all burning. The burning dead. So we have 2 days until summer. We're building up a healthy supply of steel. It's finally more than one shelf can contain, which is a really good indicator that we are working on our stocks. So we're up to 370. I mean, it's not much, but it should be enough to get one person out there to get the art components. Hopefully. Your comment, bro, taking full advantage of the medical aid here? Yeah. Like, seriously. He's like, well, I knew I had plague. I just decided to join the raid party so that I got free healthcare. Alright, Trev, you are ready to be gone. Moving 53, moving 64, so they don't move fast enough that I'm, like, confident that they'll make it out. They probably would, but I'm not going to take chances, given the care they've already received. Might as well see it through until they're well. I give him 2 peanuts. Ah yes, inspired trade. The most useful inspiration that a player can receive. What are you eating out there for? It's one of the issues, one of the downsides of having actual meals. Oh, speaking of which. What is going on here? I know. We need to be able to put potatoes, corn on the hoppers, because soon the stalwarts won't have food. Because I've blown through all my rice. Now I'm down to corn and potatoes mostly. Free letters. Mouths to feed. I'm kidding. It's probably in part the fine meals that I'm making. So, question. Who should go to the Ark prototype? First question, I would even back up. Should I send 1 or 2 people to the Ark site? So the danger of sending 1 person is if anything happens to them, they're kind of lost. The advantage of sending 1 person is carry weight. Because 2 people Maybe I'll finish explaining this before I put up the poll. So if I send 2 people, that's like almost all that can fit in a pod. Right? And if I pick someone that's heavy, like Fishpick and Madzin couldn't even go together because of the weight of the recon armor. So if I send 2 people, I'm going to need to essentially double the amount of materials that I use. I can send 2 people from my home, but I only need 1 pod launcher, and then the person that can construct can, like, build the second pod to send them, but it will dramatically increase the cost. It also dramatically increases the security. So with that said, do you want 1 or 2? Because if I only send 1, it would probably be someone like Axios, or... No, Axios is a construction of... Ooh, it would... There's not a good mix here, because you want someone that can, like, doctor themselves if they need to, but also can construct, because if they can't construct, then they can't build the pods. But I don't have anyone that is both high construction and high doctoring. High medicine. But it looks like you guys want to send 2 anyway. So that, you know, resolves that issue, it seems. Charlie. Goodbye. "22 years old with gray hair. You've lived quite the life, haven't you?" I'm just going to release her now. And we'll keep Chris until he's not plagued. Which should be pretty soon. His immunity is flying up. No. Seems to me like you guys want 2 people. Should I send a couple? That will... I feel like I'm Akinator here. That will narrow down who gets chosen. So before, we sent Wish and Winter. They don't really have good construction chops, but, like, enough to get by. Because, of course, for reference, pod launchers require construction 6, so anything 6 or higher will do. Their fail chance at constructing is still not great at 6. Like, ideally you want something more like 10, but still 6 is okay. Enemy now neutral. Army of Scabs. No longer consider me an enemy. I've been releasing their members. It's not the first time we've become neutral with them. I've been doing that over and over to try to, you know, stay off their bad list. Alright, 1 more minute to vote in this poll. I see it as a little bit closer. So other couple to potentially send. So Fishpick, if sent, could go with Cardinal. But it would mean that 2 of our best miners are away, which is perhaps an issue. Other good constructors would be Tennering, not in a couple. Islotus, also not in a couple. Zeusin could go, and Zeusin's obviously in a couple. And if we send Zeusin, it means that Zeusin and Axios, our 2 kind of leaders, are gone, which is maybe not ideal. Cardinal is the same issue with Fishpick. And then, last but not least, Fangface, also not in a couple. So there's a lot of non-couples that could go. And a few couples that could, but there's a wee bit of an issue if we do send couples. The other thing is, rough. I don't exactly have cloth for bedrolls anymore. I just come to realize I'm basically bingo cloth. So... I'm gonna do a row of cloth here. Or cotton. And try to bring their cloth back up, because we're we're basically down to 0. Maybe we'll make a new couple. I mean, there's one bedroll, but I don't think they're going to be sharing it. I could get cloth pretty easily from like an adjacent tile here, because these ancient complexes have cloth, but like that's way out of my way. I don't intend to do that. Bye, Chris. You know, there was one funny thing. Oh, actually, never mind. I don't have the... Oh, no, I do. Well, if I had more cloth, I could make a slave collar. For, Zeus's happiness. Okay, we have a lot of wood. I just realized that we have been doing a bit much of that. And the purpose of all this wood is so that we can have a lantern festival with the pilgrims. So in the morning, we'll do that. And it looks like I'm not sending a couple, so I'll just pick 2 people that I think are suited to the work. So maybe Fangface and Madsen? A brawler who can doctor and a... Actually, what is your... Yeah, you're a shooter who's kind, so there shouldn't be a lot of social fights. So like Fangface and Madsen would be a good combo to send. Or whatever we run into. Given that it's lanterns, it's probably best to do the Lantern Festival at night. Just wait a little longer. Another thing I realized is we have plenty of limestone, limestone now. So I'm going to cancel hauling and only haul slate, because we've got 500 limestone plus 37 chunks. Although, to be fair, I do need limestone more than slate, because limestone is our wall material, slate is only our floor and furniture material. And it just occurred to me, I don't actually have anywhere to place the chunks. There we go. It's really nice that they're color-coded. Makes filtering out the wrong people attending to the rituals much easier. This music is so dumb. Well, it was beautiful. Got that going for it. In the morning, I plan on sending Madsen and Fangface out. So let's consider cost. Let's see how far... So this is roughly how far one pod can get us. So we're definitely thinking 1 pod, 2 pod, 3 pod. The third hop is going to need less chem fuel though, because it's closer. And here's the issue. So just like, oh, and thank you for all the love in the chat. See to keep Dennis and Chaos Engine. Thank you, thank you. Cheers. So thinking about the logistics behind this. The problem is, once our explorers do the first hop, there is no resupplying them easily on subsequent hops. Because once there's no one at the second outpost site, no additional supplies can go with them to any future sites, right? So it's sort of like a pyramid. I have to send a lot of materials to the first hop so that they can send a subset of those materials to the second one, and yet a subset again to the third. Because if I don't have the materials to build the transport pods back home, they're stranded. And the only way to do that is to then send a rescuer over to resupply them. So the third hop only needs steel for, let's say, one. So let's work backwards. And this is going to take me a minute. So the third hop will need a pod launcher, which is 50 steel and a component. And then we'll likely need 4 pods. So 240 steel plus the 50 steel, which is 310 steel. Plus chem fuel. And a full load of chem fuel here. To fully fuel up a transport pod is not cheap either. So each hop will need about 310 steel, meaning that at the moment I'm not sure I even have the materials to make this run. Plus, the first outpost is going to need even more steel because it needs to send the steel to supply the second hop as well. Now here's the thing. I can split up Madsen and Fangface to the 2 outposts. So I can have Fangface, who's the constructor, stay at the first hop, while Madsen goes to the second hop to see how close we get. Because he can always build more transport pods to send more stuff. So this is a bit of a logistics nightmare, but I suspect I'm going to need to send about 1,000 steel on this trip, just for some art components. It's a lot. Luckily, I have 850 steel already, because I've been focusing and prioritizing it pretty heavily. So I might need to deploy in a day or two. I don't think I'm exactly ready right now. But what I can do is to put Fangface and Madsen in the parkas. Taking the recon armor off of Madsen so he has more temperature tolerance. I might even go so far as to switch him into like a masterwork toque, if I have one available, off of someone else. Tannering has an excellent. That might be the best I got. Zeusin has an excellent. And same with the tribal wear. Put them as the best possible clothing so that they don't succumb to frostbite. Because we are heading south, so we are heading away from the poles. So it might work out that way. We'll see. Alright, Madsen, your temperature tolerance now is very good. -73. I don't think I need to worry about hypothermia for him, then. We'll see about Fangface in a second. As soon as Fangface is up. And wearing the right parka. $66? Okay. I think that's going to be good enough between the two of them. So I'll wait for a little bit more steel to be made and then deploy about 1,000 steel, and then in terms of components, each hop to send 2 pods forward is going to be 3 components, and then 2 pods back is 3 more components. So it's about 5 components per hop. Probably all 20 components need to go as well on this trip. And then as far as chem fuel goes, how much is it actually to fill a pod launcher? Is it, because I don't think it's a 1-to-1 ratio, right? Wiki, can you help? No, it's 150. So 150, 150, 300, 600 return trip, plus a little extra for the 3rd hop. So maybe 800 chem fuel needs to go as well. Yikes. It's an expensive trip. Seriously, no joke. So once we get a little bit more steel going, we can kick that off. Now this zone is not necessarily guarded. It doesn't say anything about having guards. Some of them have protectors. So like this one has 2 seals guarding it, 2 pinnipeds. But it should be fine if it doesn't report guards. Okay, so maybe one more batch of steel and... there it is. I don't know about going at nighttime, so I'll probably wait till tomorrow morning because it's warmest during midday. So the 2nd of summer is our departure time. Right, Fangface seemed to be unwilling to actually self-dye clothing. I'm just going to force it. How much chem fuel do I have? 1384. But I also have 2100 fungus to make chem fuel, so I'm not too worried about the chem fuel supply. We'll be fine. Honestly, if anything, it's more of an issue that I am depleting our base of its supply of steel for repairs and the like, more than anything else. The production of advanced components is done, and components will catch back up in a minute. Because I know I'm taking all the components on the trip with me. So the total tally is roughly 1,000 steel, 800 plas steel, or 800 chem fuel, 20 components, and then a whole bunch of food. But we have lots of packaged survival meals, so that's not much of an issue either. And we might also want to bring like recreational drugs and things like that for morale. Making sure we don't have mental breaks out there. Okay, both Fangface and Madsen are awake. I don't know if I need all the pod launchers, so let's see if we can get away with 3. I'll probably need all 4 though. Madsen. Fangface. I'll go with 50 meals. All the components. Yeah, we're going to need more weight. In fact, I might even have to send it in batches. I'm not entirely sure we have the pods support for... yeah, I will need to send it in batches. Okay, well, knowing that, that's fine. Fangface and Madsen. And 50 meals. 800 chem fuel. 20 components. Trying to think. Let's send them with 10 ambrosia, 20 tea, 20 beer. First trip we can fit just shy of 800 steel. So we got chem fuel, we got components, we got tea, we got ambrosia, we got steel, we got beer. I know I don't have any bedding, but they're going to be roughing it. I think what I can do is send some wood for a basic shelter. So I'll send 600 steel. And let's do 200 wood and 618 steel. In terms of medicine, they already have that in their pockets. It's a bit risky to only send them what they have in their pockets, but you make a fair point. I'll send a little extra medicine with them as well. Given this trip, I'm going to send them with 8 Glitter World meds. Well, this is going to be a multi-phase launch, but we are going. Craft armor and salvage the Ark site. And the home team here is just going to grind through more... Ooh, Psychic Soothe. Grind through more steel making, because it's going to be vitally important that I resupply them with steel as well. Because all the steel that's heading to the second and third outpost have to arrive at the first outpost, obviously. Alright, hop in. About a noonday launch. Hey, Zero! Thank you for the resub. Apparently, you have the same subiversary as Fangface. Like, to the day. That's nuts. Fangface is like, oh, let me just get one more nutrient paste meal shoved into my mouth. I'll miss it when I don't have it. Launch. So it's hard to tell, like... Let me see if I can't fake a caravan plan. Great, I can't actually see the line. I don't know why I thought that was going to be helpful. Normally, with the map revealed, you'd be able to see the line. I'll have to do. Imagine how scary that would be IRL. Just like being launched into the abyss. I mean, I guess that's what being an astronaut was like, I suppose. But that would freak me the hell out. It's like, alright, you're being launched into a black abyss. Good luck. We hope we calculated the supplies you will need. If not, rest in pieces. They have arrived. Well, it's good to see the terrain, I suppose. Settle. No animals. It's only -40. I know, it sounds ridiculous to say only, but, yeah. Because I can send for economics, I'm going to plan on sending the next launch. Actually, we'll make this an outside wall in batches. Okay. I haven't changed channel food yet, but they're about to get swapped. Actually, I don't really want them eating anything. I want them only eating packets of ramen meals, and the reason is if they find something else, I don't want them... I should spell that longer, so it doesn't look like NPM. There we go. Now it's easier to tell from a distance. I don't want them, like, picking up random berries or something and then getting food poisoning, because that would be really, really, really bad. Alright, back home, how are we doing? We have lots of coal, so Fishpick, you can stop. Ali K, thank you for the resub, and Stochastic Turtle for the bits. Cheers. Oh, Madsen doesn't even have medicine? Oh, because he dropped it. So the reason I sent extra wood is it was pretty cheap to send wood on this first trip, and a little bit of creature comforts will go a long way, I think. So let's put the chem fuel and steel on the shelf. That should help to conserve space. Well, it might have been nice for you to, like, roof up the building first. All right. They're really roughing it. And we will, of course, need to send maybe about 400 more steel to that site. The real question is, once this pod is built, how close can we get to our destination? I don't think it's worth caravanning. But if we're like one tile off or something like that, I might consider it. And now we're also back to cooking up a lot of chem fuel back home, because I burned so much of it for this outpost supply. It's an expensive, expensive trip we're going on. So, You guys, please don't have mental breaks and punch chem fuel, because that would be bad. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld Frostwardens, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you in next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow pilgrims and stalwarts.